All right. Hello, everyone out there in viewerland. Apologize for the late start today.
Technically
All
early.
right.
What do
Hello,
you mean?
everyone
Oh
out
yeah,
there in viewerland.
it is early.
Apologize for the we we are going early a little bit, a lot of bit early today to avoid conflict with that one sports ball game. Some of y'all may have heard of. I don't know. I think it's called the Great Plate.
The Great Plate, yep.
But anyway, thank you guys for joining us here on Snogbeat Dungeon Incorporated for our Sunday Dresden Files RPG game. I play Romain LeBeau, a magical tattoo artist, and definitely not a necromancer, although that may be changing soon.
Further straying away from the light, unfortunately.
Directly above me is our game master, Kyle, who plays literally everybody else. And to his
And that's why
left,
you should introduce me last, because that line delivers a little better.
well, normally I would introduce Dev next, but he's not here with us today.
See, we're lost without Dev. It's the problem.
Yeah.
He delivers all the speeches.
Uh,
Anyway,
and
along with
then
the late introduction.
above that black box that is currently Dev, we have Colin playing Austin Cash, the White Court bounty hunter, who may or may not be
The
Spider-Man.
rootinest, tootinest vampire you done ever did see.
The rootinest and tootinest. All right,
He
so
roots and toots.
so last week we started with the person who is most in danger, and I can't really tell who that might be today. So we're gonna go ahead and do a toss-up. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first because I feel like mine is further back in time.
Yes, we're officially a few hours back in the past for everyone keeping up with the traditional storyline. Austin Cash is about to reach his hand over to open up a safe house after giving a secret password to meet up with the city's White Court vampires. Anyway, so I'll let you get started there.
Count Chocula?
The little slide opens up. the guy looks. You see these very white eyes. He squints at you and he shuts the little thing again. You hear a lot of locks undoing on the side, and then the door opens up. I haven't seen you around here before. You see a very beautiful looking man. Not that you're looking, but hey, you could be. It's like a distant cousin. It would be not advised. He's very good looking, but he is very intense looking. Like instead of like a round full face, he's got very angular, very skeletal features, sunken eyes, but in that dark, brooding Robert Pattinson way, instead of that weird dude that hangs out at the mall. So trying to set some expectations here.
Okay.
You expect that he is a little bit dangerous. He has the posture of somebody who knows how to fuck someone up. I was told, though, that this stream is allowed to be a little PG-13, so
we are marked as adult only.
In fact, 18
we're gonna
plus.
Pepper these in here.
We could just, if we want to. Nothing's holding us back.
That's not this game yet. We'll figure that out yet. Well, we have White Court vampires in here. We're finally there.
You're not playing that kind of vampire, Colin.
Come on.
How
hard is it to change?
It would cost you exactly 1 refresh point, and you'd be able to start doing all the sexy vampire stuff.
The accent's already there. It does all the work for me, honestly.
That is a fairly sexy accent, though.
Does all the work for me.
That's correct. All right. Back to the world of the game. I haven't seen you around here before. Who are you?
Well, that would be because this is my first time. My name is Austin Cash.
Cash? It's not exactly the last name of the people we're expecting around here. Who told you the password?
Who did tell me the password?
Oh yeah, you got the password from your father's ghost.
You're disconnected.
Yeah, you're robot.
I disconnecting?
You
No!
became a robot.
There we go.
That's
There
not
we
good.
go.
Back.
You're better. You're back. Oh, he's
All right.
gone.
Well. Whoop.
So this isn't a baby break, but can we break out the song anyway?
Baby break.
Do
Do.
do
Oh,
do do
he's
do do.
back.
Okay, I'm back. I think. Hold on. Let me adjust my screen.
All right. So for now, I'm the game master. There we go.
There we go. Game Master! I'm back. Spinning through the void. Where were we?
Hadn't
What
seen
are
you
you?
before. Last name.
Oh, yeah, last name. You weren't expecting it. You got the password from... It was either Anansi or your father. I can't remember. Both of them had it. I'll leave it to you, since I don't remember.
Well, I had a contact.
He did not get
Let
it
me
from his
know.
father.
Yeah, it was from a Nazi, I would say.
Okay.
That makes the most sense to me. I had a contact let me know of the password to get in here, and yeah, I've been looking for you guys for a little bit now.
Looking for us. Give me 1 second. He shuts the door on you. You hear one lock turning, so not as many locks being turned.
Is there like a wall I'll like press up against it? Hold it up, make myself useful.
Yeah. The guy the little slot opens back up and you can just see the guy's eyes again.
Yep.
So hold on. Who's gonna be your mother again? I forget.
I never remember either, to be honest with you. It's one of those things I feel like I should. No, it's very basic. June Cash.
All right. Does the name June Malvora mean anything to you?
Yeah, it does. That would be my mother, actually.
Mother.
Huh. The little slot closes back up again and the door opens. Well, I mean, you got every right to be here. So, come on in. He
right.
brings you out to the side, frisks you down for weapons. How many weapons do you have on you right now, Colin?
Got a gun and a knife from that one guy we fought that had all the knives forever ago.
Did you attempt to hide them before you got here?
I mean, they're just sitting in the back. So,
No.
I mean, like, no, not really.
A quick pat down later, and your guns have been held at the front. You've been given a ticket back
But
for
not
their
the knife.
return. Oh no, the gun and the knife. Yeah, you got all your weapons around.
Two
You have
guns,
a
one
ticket
knife.
to return, like a coat check, a weapon check, as it were. And you were welcome to go inside the location. You call it a club, only like clubs are meant for like reckless, wild abandon and like fun a little bit. Like that's the idea of it. But this one is a lot darker. It has more of an just this weird predatory feel constantly wherever you're sitting. The music, instead of being overly loud, is just oppressive. There's a lot of low tones with like the bass going really loud rather than the actual music being too loud to speak over. You could easily have at least a medium level conversation with somebody without truly having to scream or anything like that. What else? You feel like a rush of wind on your face as you continue standing. A little trick that they use in the casinos, pumping oxygen into the room, keeps you up and motivated and moving forward. Finally, there is just this present sense of dread. Just something primal in you understands that there is something to be afraid of around here. But as you go in, the walls are darker in color. There's plenty of like plush place to sit down. What you would describe it as would be a vampire bar, but vampires aren't real in the real world, obviously. So this is like a gothic LARPing vampire club that you'd see in like the 90s and early thousands. Everyone here is dressed like a vampire. An old school cheesy vampire, capes, fangs, the whole works. But if you had been to one of these places before, you would understand that there's kind of a game to it. This feels oddly just too many people are taking it way too seriously, because, as you know, there are real vampires in here. You are ushered in to go past a lot of the basic part of the club. It's people kind of sitting in a front area dance part of the floor with just it's not even that level of like keeping it together. It's like just wild random movements. You could easily
It's a
see
mosh pit.
less
Okay.
It's hard to describe these things after we all have the words for them. As you continue going forward, you are led to a back room. They say he checks out, and you are granted an audience with a man named Armando.
Armando. Well, am I led to like a room or a booth or a
it's his back
office? Office. Well, hello. My name's Austin. Nice to meet you.
You see a man who looks like he is in his 50s, but these are vampires, so you got to think differently about this. He might be way, way older, or not really all that much older. Vampires are crazy like that.
Yep.
I know, right? He looks up at you. The man is dressed in a regular outfit, a nice suit that you would wear when you go to operate your club in the first place. He's poring over some numbers with no computer in sight. Just doing math by hand for whatever reason. Austin Cash.
That's me.
What brings you here today?
Well, I guess mostly to become more informed.
Interesting. So her little plan didn't work. You've discovered who you are.
It does seem I have discovered something about me. A couple of things at least.
Well, certainly. How can I inform you?
Well, it turns out I must be some kind of, well, I don't know, hush, I'm supposed to say this, but I'm some kind of vampire of the white court, it seems, variety. And I seem to have gained that ability from my mother. And she died before she told me anything about any of that. So basically, that's how much information I have, and I want to expand that about tenfold.
Yes. As I predicted, you seem uninformed and unable to help yourself. This was a great plan in the first place. Let's start from the top. What? Goodness, what do you need to know? We're going to go ahead and give you a pause there so you can go ahead and plan it out. And we're going to go back over to Tyler, who is just about to make a choice.
All right. While we have that break, I'd like to shout out Canna Rules 25 coming at us with the Prime sub. Let's go.
Steal money from Bezos. Let's go.
There we go. Prime subs.
As our Shieldmaster Sam yesterday was coming through with hashtag Steal Jeffrey's money.
Steal Jeffrey's money. Let's do it. I'm always down for that. Where were we? Yes, we're about to have a... You think you were about to open up the locket with the little piece of death inside of it?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I mean, obviously this is the last chance to turn back if you'd like, but if you do proceed, a small mote of death comes out of the locket and faces you.
Oh, right, Jesus.
Yeah.
I have props.
A small little mote of death. Yes, he's also drunk. And the mote of death. You kind of play with it in your hands a little bit. You try to squish it, but it can't really be destroyed. You can move your hands all the way down to your fingers are touching each other, but like a shadow, it just stays out of the way without being interrupted. You try to catch it. It can't really be squashed. In fact, when you hold it in your hands like this and look inside, you can't even see it inside of the shadow. Death, you come to understand, is the absence of something. And therefore, it is a hard line. Just like there is not, like, the color black is the color black because it is well, the color is all the other colors combined. The light color of black
Is the
is
absence
that
of
way
light.
because it lacks something. Yeah. And there cannot be there's a hard line between when something is unlighted and lighted. And that first photon, as you are coming to understand, changes everything. So that is when the small mote decides to begin to speak to you. Has to teach you the ways of animancy.
What does it say?
I am trying to change over my notes.
We are professionals here on.
That is true. I have a whole 2 pages of notes, and that's why everything changed today. That's how much professionals we are. I was thinking about doing a funny little voice because it's
Find
a
it.
death
You got
ball. There you go. Okay.
Hey, I did a Macho Man Randy Savage voice, or at least
That's
attempted
fair.
to, the entire night on Friday. If I can do that, you can do this.
All right. Okay.
Or you cannot. It's up to you.
To teach you the meaning of life and death. No, the mote's about this big, by the way. Just floating around. Big voice, little mote.
Phenomenal cosmic voice. Itty bitty leaving space.
Itty bitty personal space. Okay.
The meaning of life and death, would you say?
Oh, he's shit-faced.
I'm half a bottle in like an hour. Yes.
Yes.
What is your name?
I have no name. I am a personification of a concept.
Chauncey. Gotcha.
There we go. Oh, okay. We're trying to see if we can't get sponsored by Windex a little bit. It's the hope. Sorry, everybody. We're trying to describe the distinction between animancy and necromancy.
If
I can't get there. Hold on. We're gonna hand wave it. Moving forward.
This is me as Tyler speaking.
There we go.
It seems to me the difference between animancy and necromancy is one is dealing with the physical embodiment, the other is dealing with the soul. But
Incorrect.
okay.
We did some work. All right. So the specific distinctions between animancy and necromancy is that animancy is controlling the forces of life and death, while necromancy subverts the natural order.
Gotcha.
So yeah, differences you would see would be like healing a human body, possible. Raising the dead, necromancy.
Gotcha.
So also to that same effect, a resurrection. If someone has died and you resurrect them, you're doing necromancy. It doesn't matter if they're zombies or just hanging around. Another bad thing to do is to just kind of unlife somebody. You do control, like you would have access to like life and death stuff, but it starts to become necromancy when you start unlifing people.
When I start
like
just sucking the life out of them?
Yeah, literally draining the life, like taking years of their life and adding them to your own, or like, yoinking someone's life away all in one move, which would be something that you would be able to learn how to do. Also, body swapping is like soul theft, so you can't do that kind of stuff. What else?
For those of you who have read the books, that's oh shoot, I had the name on the tip of my tongue, and
it's Corpse Taker.
Yes,
that's her MO. So
for those of you that are Colin, you need to get there.
Yes, you do, Colin. That would be really helpful.
All right.
Anyway, animancy is really a lot more like you'd imagine a death domain cleric, rather than a necromancy would be kind of more of a bad, evil person who does nothing but raise undead thralls.
Yeah, I mean, where's the fun in that? You don't get to talk to them. They just sorry. Where's the fun in that? You don't get to talk to them. You don't get. They just do what you say.
The first lesson you must learn is to purge poisons from your body.
I like it. Purge poisons?
It is a simple effect.
He goes into describing how instead of doing anything else but just hyping up your metabolism, you could easily get yourself out of being drunken. But if you wanted to hype up your life force, you can go through and metabolize all that alcohol and get through your hangover as well. What you're going to want to do is see if you can't roll a spell with your brand new controlling. So this is going to be fun.
All right. So I have not done any kind of evocation before, so you're gonna have to walk me through this.
Correct. Evocation runs a whole lot more like thaumaturgy than you'd like to think. But instead of being limited by your lore or having the ability to kind of move things around and work ahead of time, you're going all at once.
Mm-hmm.
So we first set up the effect you'd like to make, and then we discover how much power it has when you roll, and then you try to roll the discipline to see if it'll happen that way.
Gotcha.
So it's kind of like just unbound, free roaming thaumaturgy. And you have a +1 in that to either power or control, your choice, because you have a focus in animancy.
Sorry, I just realized I had forgotten to reset all my stresses and my fate points for the session.
Oops.
All right. So I get a +1 to my conviction.
It's either power or control. Your choice. You basically get the. You are going to get the power called controlling, which is the version of evocation only for one area of stuff, and you're getting it in animancy.
Gotcha.
Colin, you all right there, bud?
Yep, sorry.
Remember
Eyes
that.
all itchy.
Okay. Okay, so yeah, you have focus and animancy, either power or control, your choice. And let's do some rolls to see if you can undrunk yourself.
Right. I will choose not to choose one just yet, as I'm gonna think about it. So we're just gonna roll naturally here.
Well, you're just now learning. How could you possibly know what you're good at?
Exactly.
Makes perfect sense to me.
So that's a 1 power, 1 conviction.
All right, let's see if you can control it.
The discipline is a 4.
Yeah,
so yes,
easy.
I very control it.
You feel yourself moving past the most drunken part of your state, as though a couple hours had passed after you started drinking. Not exactly sobered up, but you are definitely into a place where you are feeling a lot more capable. You, by the way, also take 1 point of mental exhaustion, so it's 1 stress of mental.
Mm-hmm. All right, taking my 1 slot. Is this because of the effect, or is this because of evocation?
That's because of the evocation.
Okay.
Evocation in and of itself costs mental health to get going with it. One of its drawbacks.
Gotcha.
All right. The little tiny moat continues to speak. You hear a child wailing in the background.
I thought Tim was the one dealing with the banshees.
You have done well. It is time to seek out the holy man.
The holy man? Yeah.
Yes, you work with him on several occasions. He is another servitor of Lord Death.
Father Shenanigans? Is that who you're talking about?
He does not know his role, but has served for many years.
Oh, he's gonna frickin' love this one. What do?
So go ahead.
What do I tell him? I don't think just walking up and saying, "Hey, you and me, we're buddies with death. I don't think that's gonna fly too good with him.
He does not need to know his role. What he can teach you is invaluable. He knows about animancy in its essence instead of its practice.
Gotcha. So he's
Not that old.
he's a book nerd. All right.
The little tiny moat starts to wither and fade like a shadow in a room with a door opening up. Your locket closes itself back up, and you find it back in your hands.
I'm gonna put it back around my neck. You said my door was opening up?
No, like a shadow with the door opening up, the moat
gotcha.
of death fades away.
All right. What time is it?
It's way too late to be interrupting anyone's night, but that's where you're at.
Then I'm gonna go ahead and sleep off the hangover.
Good plan. Let's finish up. Let's see how Colin continues on with his conversation with the slightly disaffected Armando Malvora. Colin, when we last talked to you, what was the last question you just got asked?
Freaking muted. What I wanted to know, I believe, is what he asked.
Yes. Oh, actually, where could he even possibly start?
Yes.
Would be a better way to phrase it.
Well, it seems I need to know as much about the White Court and what being a White Court means, and the Black Court and our relation to them.
Well, being a White Court is a very simple thing to understand. We are in power. It would have been several hundred years at this point. A book was written that dethroned the Black Court vampires themselves. This was written by a pen named Bram Stoker. The book was named Dracula, arming the human population with enough knowledge to take down the Black Court vampires. It was a very, very good move on their part. Since then, we've set up shop over here in New Orleans, and things are just very, very simple. It's easy to set up kind of these little traps of fear. People either come to the club and you can easily feed here, or the whole town is just covered in what is a very spooky atmosphere. So we don't really have to do so much around all of the whole lifestyle. Really, you can just sit back and relax. There's nothing really going on in the White Court of vampires in New Orleans. Colin, you yourself learned that the Armando Malvora, an aspect of his is scavenger, not predator.
Okay.
A lot of White Court vampires are described as apex predators of one kind or another, and yeah, it's a pretty apt description for some of them. But these guys are a lot more like vultures. Food is plentiful. There are not a whole lot of natural people to fight against, and they really don't care to make waves.
It's going to be difficult then. Well, you said that this club is kind of set up as a trap to feed. Is there a way that I could come here and feed as well? And how do you...
Yes, as often as you like, as deeply as you need to. You'd be given the protection of the family. We would be always around to help out in whatever way we can. I can't imagine we can offer you much in the way of money. Just owning and managing and upkeep and all that takes so much, and it's just so hard to get more money when you do that kind of thing. But you'd be able to eat. We definitely would be able to keep the doors open. I just imagine we'd have a few requests of you every once in a while.
Well, that doesn't sound too difficult. I guess I got a couple more questions. Is anyone like the leader? I don't know if it's you, the leader of the White Courts in Orlando? Orlando.
Yeah.
I always say that.
Orlando.
New Orleans.
Yeah, only in New Orleans, but yes, I'm the person who's most in charge here. What you'd be thinking of would be the prince or the king of the White Court, and that Oh crap! I forgot his name. Hey, who? What's the guy's name? The actual king of the White Court. Chat, quick, help!
I bet Tim knows. Hurry.
Tim knows all the things. Yeah, he's just gonna laugh at us
he's
the whole time.
going to be a little bit behind us though, so it might take us a second. I'm trying to remember
It's
it.
a Wraith. That's his name,
yeah.
Lord Wraith. Wait, does he have a first name? Do we know it? It might just be Lord Wraith.
I don't think we do, but I'm gonna hit up the Google real quick.
Yep.
Anyway.
Thomas Wraith?
No, Thomas
No.
is no.
Are you doing a Google search, Colin? You don't know anything about this series.
Sure am, but there's a name that came up, so I thought maybe.
It's a Wraith, yes, but I think it's Lord Wraith. Anyway, he imparts that small piece of
Madrigal?
information on there.
Not Madrigal.
Madrigal?
No.
It's not Madrigal either.
Maeve.
Maeve?
Not Maeve. No.
Not even the Wraith.
That's not even a
Not even the right
Wraith.
group. Just moving past though.
That's the description.
Uh-oh. This has gone too far.
We're
Yeah,
almost there.
it's not. I'm not seeing
There's
a
a
name.
Lord Wraith.
Yeah,
And
that's what,
Laura
I think that's what
Wraith.
it is. I think Lord Wraith is it.
Yeah, I'm not seeing a name for him here.
Was led by Lord Wraith. All right, Lord
Yeah.
Wraith. You can give him a
Okay,
name, I
yeah,
guess, yourself, Kyle.
There we go.
Tim
I'm
is
not gonna do
confirming.
that.
Just say Lord.
Just say Lord. With Lord Wraith, he is the king of the White Court.
And what about our relation to the Black Court of Vampire?
Well, they're basically dead. I mean, I can't even imagine that one could even be around here. The humans are just so populous, and it's so easy for them to just take down Black Courts because they know how to kill them. Well, I mean, many will die. But I think if any actually popped up around here, we'd know about it and could take care of them.
But I think you're missing something because there are definitely some around here.
I don't think that's correct. We'd know.
No. Now, I've fought a couple of them. One of them was named Slender James, and the other was Bony Tony. That was his name. Bony Tony and Slender James. They look like skeletons.
This is a very interesting story, but Black Court vampires don't look like skeletons. They look like dead bodies that are walking around. So this is
Well, what if the dead body hadn't gotten a lot of food for a while and turned into a little bit more of a skeleton-like thing?
I really don't know if that's possible, but basically the Black Court is something we have had to worry about in New Orleans for a very long time, and I don't think that we're going to have to worry about it again.
Now, I see what you're saying. However, there's also a church that I recently walked in on, and there were a bunch of people hanging from the ceiling. All
Again,
Black Court vampire style.
you're completely misunderstanding. The Black Court vampires aren't like bats. They don't hang from the ceiling. You just keep on describing things that don't even sound real.
We definitely did not find them hanging from the ceiling. We found them within coffins.
Oh yeah, no. They were within coffins. That was it. Yeah, just sleeping. Lots of them sleeping. Like there's definitely some here.
Look, I know you're having a fun time with your brand new life in the afterlife. Well, it's really just an infinite life here. Here's the thing. You just can't keep on making up weird stories. Please feel free to enjoy the club, and you can have access anytime you like with your password. Just make sure you make a good friend out of the doorman.
All right.
He gives you a look that says leave.
I got one more question before I leave.
All right.
Did you know my mom?
Roll me an empathy check.
Right. Okay. How do I see what my empathy is? That'll be on here.
I don't know why, but for some reason I just got the mental image of that book of the little chicken that's looking for his mom. Are you my mama?
Are you my mom?
I love that video. Or that book. I said video. Can't paste that. That's just a YouTube video. Almost did it again.
Paste in a YouTube video. That's not what we need.
Copy, paste.
Pasta.
There we go. Ooh. Can I?
He gives you.
I'm gonna
Yes,
mark
you-
it the thing I just learned about him.
Yes, go ahead. Scavenger,
Yes.
not predator. Does that apply a +2, do you think? He's not a predator, so maybe he gives away things that he shouldn't.
Less good at lying. He seems also lazy as bunks. So.
Yeah, this type of vampire does focus more on intimidation rather than deceit to affect all their stuff. So yes, not a great liar. So yeah, you go ahead and beat him, and he says no. And then he turns back to his paperwork and continues trying to do math.
Do I understand that that was a lie?
Yes, you do understand that was a lie.
Well, all right then. I guess I got more information to figure out. Is it nice to meet you? What was his name again? I didn't write it down.
Armando Malvora.
Armando Dippet.
Dip it.
Laura. Headmaster of Hogwarts before Dumbledore.
Master of
anyone?
Hogwarts. Yes, that's right. We'll take these things up.
The Vampy Club. All right. I said Mappy. That's supposed to say Vampy.
Vampy.
Mampy.
Mampy.
All right.
All
Well, pleasure to meet you there, Armando. I guess I'll be seeing you again whenever I get a little hungry, I guess.
He says nothing as you exit out the door. He is obviously playing up how uncomfortable it is when people don't speak.
Well, anyway, see you later. Bye now. I guess I'll be off.
Yes, goodbye. You
All right,
beat him.
good.
You had to
Nice to
speak.
see.
Oh my god, you're gonna ruin the entire world of vampires. Come crashing around like, how am I supposed to deal with this fool?
The only thing more awkward than no conversation is one person just talking.
Desperately trying
Continuing to add to the conversation. And then I'll leave after he finally
good,
answers
good.
me.
So you're back in the actual club proper. You can go ahead and enjoy more of it. Meet some of the other vampires in the family.
Yeah, I'll hang out for a bit. I'll kind of try and gather how they feed on the people coming to this club without them realizing it.
Oh yeah. So the stories about vampires who hypnotize people were written about white court vampires. In general, when they feed on somebody, they take parts of their life essence just by being close by a person and experiencing the intense emotions they feed on. They can also induce those emotions by their touch, and some of them, the stronger ones, from far, far away.
So they're just feeding on the uneasy vibe of the club.
Basically, yeah. They
gathering.
kind of play. They play up all of the lights, the music, the sounds, the vampire nature, and all the regular human beings that come in, and you can kind of sense who is a human being and who's a vampire. The vampires walk like a lion walks around the jungle. The humans walk around like, well, obviously deer, even though those aren't really in the same biome.
Right.
Not important. Not important.
I got you.
So you notice that the vampires would come up. The humans would be intrigued by the dark, mysterious vampire brooding in the corner. Come over to speak to them. They'd have a short conversation. The person would get more and more heightened and more frightened by the entire ideal and everything as the vampire hypes up who they are. The vampire then seems satisfied. The other person goes on their own way. And as far as they've been concerned, they had a cool conversation with a dangerous brooding individual who may or may not have been really dangerous.
But they like to think that it is because that's what they're after. Okay, I get it.
Yep. The place is essentially foolproof. No one's really going to report you. The actual feedings of white court vampires aren't noticeable. Like, you're not biting in anyone's neck or anything. You're just kind of sucking the emotions out of them.
Right.
So, in a way, you have access to food here anytime you really need it.
And that would work with like when I'm needing a food, I could come here instead of killing someone. Or is it like if I'm at a rampage, I'm still just killing whoever?
Oh no, you'll just kill someone here.
Oh, okay. Well, that's not probably good.
It's not like better, but it's somewhere you can go. The family is around. Might help you out. Who knows?
Well, I guess we'll find out. All right. Well, I'll hang out and see if anyone like comes up to talk to me. If I can tell they're human, I'll do a little bit of light feeding, and if they're a vampire, I'll try and again kind of probe the questions that I wrote down here that I want to probe with are like if anyone else has noticed any Black Court vampires because Armando Dippett's an idiot. If they know anything about my mom, and if they know. I guess that's really it. Because like I don't want to probe too deeply because he said no and lied. Because I was going to probe deeper, but since he lied, I'm going to just see if anyone will at least admit to knowing my mom. And like if someone says yes to any of those questions or gives me any information, we can like role play out a conversation. But if not, I'm down to just chill on this until, maybe an hour or so and then head home.
You do your little hanging around investigation thing. Because it's about time for you to head home, go to sleep, get stuff to do.
Mm-hmm.
So what you learn is that people have heard of June. Some people say they speak her name a little bit like pejorative.
What does that word mean?
A bad word, like a swear word of some kind. You have gotten not a whole lot of information from a lot of people why they don't like her explicitly.
Right.
But there is something that she's wrong. Other people do not acknowledge the Black Court vampires. Some people say that they've been afraid of the Black Court vampires. They've heard of even attacks of the Black Court vampires, but all of them have that same lethargic feel about them. Each and every one of them not really willing to concern themselves with the problem by themselves because, well, I mean, what are they going to do? But also, they don't really want to. The world of the White Court vampires here is easy. It's good. And they don't want to do anything to interrupt that.
Okay. It's good to know. Good to know. All right. Well, then I will then, after hearing that information, take my leave and head home and go to bed as well.
The doorman on his way out gives you a little piece of paper. It would look like if he was a more important person, he'd again do a business card. But right. He obviously went to go find a scrap of paper, write his number down. He said to give him a call if you ever have a question.
Well, I will. What's your name?
What? Sorry, you say what, Colin?
Doorman. What's the doorman's name?
Oh, Rusty.
Rusty. Doorman to Vampy Club.
Rusty the doorman.
I like it. Well, pleasure to meet you, Rusty. I will indeed give you a call if I need anything.
Gives you one of those nice, cool finger guns and walks out the door. Or not you. You walks out the door. You do.
Pretty.
All
right, and then I will head home.
Heading home for the day. A little bit of info dump for the both of you. It's time to start the next day. Tyler, you wake up with no hangover, obviously, because you were going through a hangover while you were sleeping. Absolutely waking up well rested, refreshed. There's life in your cheeks, whole thing.
Hopefully, had a glass of water before you went to bed.
Colin, you feel absolutely like shit. You feel like you haven't gotten a lot of sleep at all. There was a lot of roaming, like there was tossing and turning, like you fell asleep. Like you had nightmares you cannot remember you had. Yes.
Interesting.
So we'll start with the unemployed. What are you going to do? I guess that's both of you. So
yeah.
I guess we're in the same house, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
I guess I'm up cooking breakfast.
Yeah, if I smell breakfast, I'm going to go eat that breakfast.
Excellent. Okay.
Yes, eggs are part of it.
Good.
Thank you for the
eggs
chuckle, Colin.
I got dad vibe in me now, so dad jokes work.
Comes right in you.
Yep. It's a natural part of the territory.
So at this point in time, Brad and Dev have gone back to reintroduce Brad to his father.
Mhm.
So the two of them are not in the house. Two of you have a little bit of time to hang out in the morning and do a little light role playing while you eat breakfast.
So what's been going on with you guys since I don't know what has it been, like a day and a half, 2 days? I forget. In game time
It's been
feels
like
so
a
weird.
day.
It's been a week.
Yeah, it's been like a day.
Yeah. What did I miss? What did I miss?
Well, I lost my job yesterday.
Oh shit! Well, that fucking sucks. What happened?
Gwen didn't like how. What did she use? As popular I was getting. Apparently, I was going to draw too much bad attention to her store. Oh yeah, also, Bony Tony and Slender James are back again.
Yeah, that does not really surprise me too much. Did feel like a. You ever watch Terminator?
That movie was out around before this time.
Yeah.
I've seen it. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
You know how that movie ends? It always felt like these guys were just gonna have that kind of vibe. They weren't leaving yet.
Well, they're still here, and they're angry at probably me.
Well, let's hope it's just you and not me as well. But would not surprise me if it was also me.
How'd your search for what was it you were looking for again? Sorry. Had a bit of a rough
I was
night last
looking for the White Court, the Vampy Boys.
Oh yeah, how did that go?
It was interesting. I found this club where apparently they get humans to all kind of group up and more or less, get a little scared so we can just eat anytime, which is nice and easy.
That
I like
sounds
that.
absolutely appalling.
Well, I mean, we don't eat them. They're alive. It's just, little bit of food. Don't have to kill people. It's nice and simple.
But who would go to a club that makes them afraid?
You ever been to a haunted house?
Yeah, but I
Yep. You ever
I
go watch
spend,
a scary movie?
20 minutes there. No, I'm not a big fan of scary movies.
Well,
I don't know if you've
a lot of
noticed,
people
but
are.
my life has been a scary movie recently.
I mean, I hard agree with that statement. I've never seen a scary movie myself. They're a little freaky, a little too scary for me. But a lot of people like to see them apparently because they keep making them. So I guess there are kinds of people that like to be scared. Idiots, if you ask me. But
I
each their
agree.
own.
So Colin, at this point in time, you realize a small, little, tiny spider sitting at the edge of the table.
Just wondering, what day is it
Oh
today?
no!
Or the week?
Today in the game.
Mhm.
Let's call it a Thursday.
No, let's
call it a Sunday.
Let's call it a Sunday. I'm down.
All right, Sunday it is.
Hey, I'm thinking about going to the service today. Talking to Father Shenanigans. You want to come along? I know church ain't exactly your place.
I'm gonna completely not listen to that and pay attention to whatever. Is the spider like giving me a?
Do I see the spider?
Yes, but I mean it doesn't register the same to you. Having a
Is it giving-
conversation with.
Is it giving me
I'm
the?
asking because if I see it, I'm about to swat it.
Then I will. If it's giving me some kind of signal, I will look. Wait, sorry. What did you say?
I said I'm going to see the service today. Smack.
Oh, no. I gotta go
Damn.
see a man about a spider. So I'm gonna.
Oh shit! I'm sorry.
Well, you don't gotta say sorry to me.
Here? I pick him up and hand him to Austin.
I'll just put him in the front pocket, I guess. So I guess you'll go do that, and I'll go do this, and we'll meet back here. Ready, break.
Go team.
All right.
Now who's gonna go first? That's the real question.
What, Kyle? What?
I'm not laughing. I don't know what you're talking about.
I definitely just heard you say, "Oh my god."
No. Okay. So who are we going first?
I'll go
I
first.
went first last time.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, time for Father Shenanigans.
All right. Do I make it on time for the service?
You do.
All right.
The service itself is. I've actually not been to like a Catholic mass. There's like a lot of standing, a lot of sitting, a lot of movement of hands, a lot of rituals.
I'm about as far back as I can be.
All right, yeah. Well, it's good news. Unfortunately, there is a moment where every single person in the church has a moment to get right there up in front of the Catholic priest himself, and that's when taking communion. So as you sit through the 20-minute sermon for the 1-hour service, because they fill it with 40 minutes of rituals and stuff. It was a good sermon. I mean, so, with the source material being what it is, I mean, there's only so many varieties, but it had a bit of life. It was nice. It was fun. Yeah. So you go up and take your moment with the priest. He sees you up in person, and it's Father Shenanigans. You take your wine, your communion, and he nods at you, understanding that you're here, I guess. It's nice to see you at church, the nod says, as best it could.
Mm-hmm.
It's only a nod.
It's one of those nods that carries some weight to it.
It's only a thing only Father Shenanigans really can do.
Yeah.
He's one of those guys. Very expressive nods.
Some people have expressive eyebrows. Some people it's their mouth.
No.
Father Shenanigans, it's his head.
It's a real fact. So after the service itself ends, the church doesn't close down because they're still accepting people for confessions and other things like that. You see Father Shenanigans go into his confession booth like you're not supposed to, because it kind of ruins the illusion that you're talking to the voice of God, the Metatron.
All right, I'm gonna.
Which, by the way, sounds like a transformer, not an angel, but we are an educational stream.
Megatron.
The Metatron is the name of the voice of God, and it's an angel who speaks for God. Educational stream. All right.
That's more
forward.
than I knew before we started. So
that's what we're here for. Is to learn.
I'm going to enter the confessional booth.
These are my confessions.
What troubles you, my son?
I might have killed a lot of things.
What a way to start.
Please continue on.
That bomb? I know he can't see me, but I'm still doing it, and it's in my voice. That bomb in the swamp? That was me.
From what I understand, it was a solar flare. How could it be you?
I called
I made
the solar flare. I yeah. Well, I have the ability to do things, to affect changes in the world. This one got out of hand.
You seem to be harboring a lot of guilt over this.
Yes, well, I mean, have you seen the Blight? What do they actually call it? Is it called the Blight?
They said
a lot of people call it the Blight. Yes.
Okay. I mean, have you seen it? It's absolutely massive. Like there's there's so many things that were living there that can't anymore. Or don't anymore.
And it seems to be giving you some amount of guilt.
Yeah, well, I've also been given a way to maybe fix it, but I need some guidance.
Well, first, what I would say is that you are always given the power to fix your mistakes. It might take a lot of work, but it is the right thing to do. Moreover, we all have the capacity to change the world. And we must always use it for good in the best way we can. We may be given different gifts, different talents, but well, that's what the Lord wishes. He wants us to tackle these problems in different ways. And lastly, I think you may have issues forgiving yourself. And maybe I'm wrong, but I have a feeling that I'm right here. And I think it would be something you should definitely try. Along with, of course, a few Hail Marys, a few sessions, coming back to the church service, always taking some new lessons. And I should think that acts of service will make you feel best.
Acts of service?
Of course, repairing the damage you believe you caused.
He was hitting on you.
Doing what you can. Acts of service, yeah. There we go. We're going to play a Christian priest straight for at least one time. All right.
Thank you, Father.
Of course, my son. He leads you in a small prayer, and you leave as he's giving his little benedictions. Tiny death. All right.
I'm gonna wait around for him to leave as well, like leave the confessional. We can go ahead and switch over while.
Good. While that's happening, we're gonna head up towards the library as per usual.
Is he telling a story today?
Anansi is telling a story.
When is he not?
When isn't he telling a story? I'm just trying to think of the right story he's going to be telling. So this time he tells the story of a ancient king. He tried to pull the wool over the gods' eyes and trick them. When he did that, the gods decided to send him to Tartarus. And he would have to roll a boulder up a hill every single day, only for it to fall over the other side. That man's name is Sisyphus, and he's where we get the idea of a Sisyphean feat. Something that is not worth doing, and very difficult, and will continue to be a problem the entire time you're doing it.
I imagine he does have a problem with his feet if he just spends all day pushing boulders uphill.
I agree. Sisyphus's feet.
Sassafras.
Sassafras. Sisyphean.
So again, not taking any of that into account into my own life, I'm gonna go up and talk to Anansi.
He stopped giving you lessons. He's giving lessons to your friends now.
Too bad his friend's not there to hear it.
They're there in the narrative. They'll know.
It'll get to them somehow. I heard a great story about some king. Anyway, so after he's done talking and telling a story, if you have a moment, I'm going to pull the spider out of the pocket and be like, it seems like you summoned me. Also, I don't know what happened to the little guy. I think Romain might have.
Jesus. So Anansi takes the spider, looks around, makes sure no one's noticing, pops it in his mouth, chews it up, and eats it.
See that coming?
He leads you downstairs towards the basement of the library. I heard you have more of my story.
Well, I seemed to. I forget where I left off last time. Do you remember where I left off?
Let's see. You had just told me you didn't learn anything about the death of your mother. Well, beyond what you already knew. And that you had had a conversation with your father about his passing. So we were all ready to talk about your mother.
Right. So I've learned since then a couple of things. Right. You know the books that were written about how? No, you probably didn't know about. I don't know if you were around. There was a book written about how to destroy Black Court of Vampire. Right. Apparently,
Okay.
my mom wrote it. Don't know if that's exactly true. Her name isn't on it. So, and then, met up with some White Court vampire who definitely told me he did not know who my mom was, but was super lying to me. Also, in this little cavalcade of White Court vampires, everyone, they were kind of skirting around. I don't know what she did, but something happened, and they don't even like her, because it seems like the Black Court killed her for writing the book. That's at least what Boney Tony told me, or Slender James. I can't keep them straight. One of them told me that my mom wrote the book. That's why she died. Still don't know who killed her. Still hunting them down. But I've now met up with the White Court to try and get some information on the Black Court, so with that I can then go find and/or attempt to destroy them.
Oh, that was a mouthful.
Yep. We've been making progress steadily.
You're making progress, certainly. All right, well, it sounds like you've got the next mystery to go. What is it that got your mom so in trouble with the White Court?
It's a really good question. I don't have an answer exactly.
Well, what are your plans?
Well, I don't currently have a plan. My biggest plan is to get a little closer with someone at this club that might be able to spill some information and/or, well, this sounds a little bit more dangerous, but force someone to then give me that information. My team doesn't seem to like kidnapping, but that always works for getting the information out.
All right. Well, I guess then I have nothing really to offer you until you're all done, unless you have another meal for me. Have you killed anybody recently? Someone juicy?
No, I don't think so. I mean, we did blow up the swamp and Slender James and Boney Tony, but I think they're still living. I could go back and get you some normal person, but I don't know any big people around here I could try and pull in.
There is still that swamp monster. Actually, is there still a swamp monster? Is there still a swamp monster since we blew up the swamp?
Yes, there is still a swamp monster. He
That
does say, by the way, there is always that swamp monster.
I wonder how he's doing with the swamp being all, gone and whatnot.
I'd sure love to learn.
I'm never against tracking down a swamp monster. I mean, the only problem is the swamp seems to be a very volatile place for my group of friends. Something usually goes down pretty badly there.
Well, I mean, I can't imagine there's any more gifts to give you that I could even offer at this point to help you in your quest to discover all the parts of your past.
Well, do you know how to kill a Black Court vampire real easily? Because every time we fight them, they tend to dunk on us, really, is the word I would use.
Have you tried necromancy?
I have yet to try that myself, but I know a guy who is vehemently against it, but I think he's slowly, maybe.
Yeah, they're basically zombies, right?
Not a necromancer.
We don't really see a lot of them. But yeah, they're basically just dead bodies. If you necromance them up, they should be fine.
Well, I guess I'll start talking to Romain about what sort of necromancy he's getting into lately and see if he knows how to destroy a Black Court vampire, because that would help a ton. Yeah, if you can give me any kind of, you have holy spider web. Holy spider web would be helpful, maybe, or
All spider
I don't know
webs
if
have holes
holy.
in them.
Well,
Spider webs.
uh,
No,
something like
I
that.
don't. I don't have anything like that. I really
Worth
wish
a
I could
shot.
help you with that.
Holy spider web.
Hey, you never know. I'm God's Spider-Man now.
You
Who
got to
really
go
knows?
collect those from the church.
Spider God.
I'm the Spider guy. Well, I
Fancy.
guess if you get some kind of information or something you want to trade for a juicy swamp monster, let me know and I'll start hunting them down.
I'll find something. Just go get the swamp monster.
Well, that sounds like a plan then. And
You leave Anansi a little bit stumped on what to do.
I've stumped him. That's one step in the right direction. And then I'll head out and go back to the house and wait for Romain to get there. Hopefully soon. Maybe now.
Where were you at, Romain? Waiting for Father Shenanigans to get out. He finally gets out of the confessional booth and sees you and comes over to say hello.
Hi, Father.
Oh, Romain. He gives you a light handshake. Just something delicate, no force behind it. He does not care to try to show off any kind of manliness, as is his way.
Mhm.
Is there something you needed?
Sorry, what was that?
Is there something you needed? Needed. Hard word to say.
I've been told you could help me.
That's interesting. Help you in what?
Well, the guidance. I've been told you know something about souls.
Well, of course. Let's
Uh,
walk and talk. You obviously have something on your mind. He walks you back towards his office.
We'll call it an
Wherever
office.
priest. We had this conversation last time.
And I think we called it an office last time
do
too.
Priest homework. Wherever priests do priest homework, that's where we're at right now.
Priest homework.
I wouldn't say that I'm the expert in souls, but I do have a good contact. Yes.
He's got points and contacts.
The best kind of contact.
Yes, well, I'm just going to be blunt with you. I'm trying to bring the life back to the swamp.
Interesting.
I am running into a...
How are you going to do that?
Animancy.
Animancy? What is that?
It has to do with life and death and souls.
I distinctly remember you telling me you had rules against magic involving life and death.
The line is very blurry. I'm a little confused on it myself. Needless to say,
No.
I'm not going to be bringing things back to life. I'm just going to be restoring the natural life of the swamp.
Interesting. How would that go about? I apologize. No need to tell me it's just going to be magic. How hard will this be for you?
I'm not entirely sure. I'm just kind of stepping my toes into this myself. I imagine it's going to be incredibly difficult. Even more so because, well, we may have pissed off a couple of Black Court fans. Sorry, made a couple Black Courts angry. I apologize for my French. Yeah,
Well,
that's kind of what caused the whole blight to begin with. I dropped a sun on one of them, both of them, all of them.
Well, I can't tell you exactly how your magic is meant to work, but I can tell you that it is good to think of. Oh, I'll be blunt. It is good to think to God. Consecrate an area, build holy energy, and things should work out fine. The same way you manage this exorcism, I imagine you can handle the swamp. But of course, fixing things isn't as easy as breaking them. It takes just a whole lot more energy.
I imagine this is going to take a lot of energy and time.
Well, you always have my support.
Thank you, Father. Have a wonderful day. I think I'm gonna go. I guess get started now.
He crosses you with a little thing, and then he hands you a little vial of holy water. Just saying that every time you ever come to visit him, you needed something. He had this one ready.
I actually wasn't gonna ask him for holy water this time.
Well, it'll probably be needed.
But I will, in fact, keep it, because you can never have too much holy water.
It's a true fact.
Just wondering, Father, how long does this keep?
Keep?
Yeah,
it's water.
Does holy water expire? Does it become
stop being
unholy
after a bit?
does it, I guess, desecrate?
No, desecration is an act. You have to desecrate something. As far as anyone's concerned, it's water. There's no magical property in it except for belief. So as long as you still believe in it, it should be fine.
Oh. Thank you, Father. Have a blessed day. And I leave his office. I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go back to the house.
All right, back up at the house. All of you guys have visited all of their faiths.
Oh, Romain, are you home finally?
Yeah. Sorry. Had to wait for the father to finish with confessions. There were a lot of people at that church.
Well, it seems he's doing a good job then. We have a mission.
Hmm?
It's going to take us back to our favorite location.
The swamp again?
The swamp again. That's right.
Well, actually, it's a good thing, because I was actually planning on going there today and hopefully start the healing process.
Well, let's start by taking out a swamp monster out of it. That should be some healing, right?
Wait, the swamp monster's still there?
I don't know, apparently. That's what Nancy says, so I guess it's the way that it is. He usually knows things.
Well, you're not wrong. He does tend to know things.
He seems to be weaving our story, if you will. Wait, what?
Yeah, definitely catching us further up in his web.
Well, I can make my own webs now, so I'm not so worried about it. I'm sure it should be fine. Let's head out to the swamp. Should we wait for where's
he's out of
Dev getting off to?
He's out of town. He took his friend Brad back to Atlanta.
Wait. You guys found Brad?
You met Brad.
I did not meet
He
Brad.
didn't meet Brad? Oh, my bad.
No, he did not.
I met Brad's dad,
and then
we talked about trying to find Brad, and then when did
Oh.
you guys find Brad? I asked you what happened, and you was a whole bunch of humming and hawing.
Listen, I've had a rough couple of days. Between the trial with the council.
What?
You were there for that.
You were
Oh yeah, I was there for that. Wait a minute.
What?
Between the trial with the council, losing my job, Boney Tony attacked me. Like, I'm sorry, it slipped my mind. Yeah, we
Twice.
found Brad. Apparently, he was somewhere in the Never Never with Gwen's aunt. I think it was.
Oh, Gwen has an aunt. All right.
Yeah.
Well, is she some kind of magical wizard as well, or what's her deal?
You've seen her do magic.
No, not Gwen. Gwen's aunt.
Oh, she's a.
You need some water or something. You seem out of it.
I mean, you just said she when we were talking about Gwen.
Well, we were talking about Gwen's aunt.
She's a fairy of some kind. I don't know.
A fairy. So what do fairies actually look like? Yeah, I always heard, like little tiny glowy. Listen.
Okay,
listen.
so there are
Something
those.
like that.
Actually, how much would Romain know about fairies, since he is self-taught? Like,
You also were
would-
technically being trained by Gwen for like a year. I mean, I just don't know how much you would have released about it. You know that fairies can't. It's different for every fairy, but your classic fairy look is like tall human with striking features.
So there are a couple that look like those, but you've seen Lord of the Rings, right?
Is that out now?
I think it is.
Oh, is it 2000? It's like 2001 right now. I don't think it is. When did that movie come out?
That's a good question.
This one had set things.
It
in
is
the
a
past.
2001 film.
Huh.
Ooh, okay.
Hard
That movie just
maybe.
came out. Austin, did you see it?
I haven't been really watching films lately, but I haven't had to catch it yet.
Hmm.
Heard it's pretty good.
Tell me, what do you think elves look like?
Tiny little. They make cookies. Have little clog shoes.
Okay, they
Live in a
also look
tree?
like that.
Wait,
Now,
elves look like that, or fairies look like that?
fairies also look like that. Also, what do you think of the monsters that you've heard stories of?
What kind of monsters are we talking about here?
Yes.
Well, that's a Nightmare Before Christmas come out. Yeah. I never know it's a reference. I mean, I don't know. I've heard all kinds of different things.
Nightmare Before
some
Christmas
have-
is 93, so yes, absolutely.
Yeah, it's been
Ah.
out for like 8 years.
I'm the wind flowing through your hair. I'm the one under your bed. I mean, I know a couple things about a monster or two, I guess.
Most monster stories are based on different fairies. Also, don't call them fairies. They don't like that.
Not a lot of people seem to like that, apparently.
Okay.
Not even fairies apparently like being called fairies. Well, noted. So fairies aren't cute little creatures.
They can also look like humans. They can be cute little creatures. They have a lot of different looks.
Here's a real question: are fairies good?
Yes and no. They're like people. You know, some people are good, some people are bad. Some fairies are good, some fairies are evil. But they all like deals.
Me too. I've been known to make a couple deals in my day. Get me out of some tight squeezes
painfully
here and
aware
there.
of that.
They've gotten me out of some tight squeezes, honestly, these deals. I need to get better, learning a thing or two still, but can't say I'm too shabby.
I can't. Anyway, let's go. I guess to the swamp.
Yeah, to the swamp then. Sounds like a plan.
All right, we go to the Blighted Swamp. Inside of what used to be a swamp ecosystem is now a bunch of dead dirt and decayed trees. You see just a whole bunch of just consistently, continually dying ecosystem. We've seen a few extra storms in the area as the water precipitates out of the area and not refall back in to recreate it. The dirt storms around the area are actually picking up more than usual since the roots of the trees that used to keep the soil in place are starting to wither away and die. The dust gets a little worse around time. You see dead bodies of animals everywhere as food has dried up and gone completely to either waste in some places and has caused animals to start resorting to eating each other and others. The creatures that exist in the swamp now are all savage and wild, and the alphas of each of the groups, or I guess whoever eats the most.
Right. I guess we're going to start looking for this swamp monster, but while we're doing that, I'm going to attempt to consecrate the ground.
All right,
as there's a lot of ground we got to cover.
Okay. We're going to go ahead and roll another animancy spell.
I'm gonna get a drink of water.
So, give me some power.
All right, that's a 3 for the power. And a 5 for the control.
So that looks really good. It looks like we're going to... the ground is consecrated around you. Nothing happens specifically right there as you see it. You just feel a lot more confident in the area. You move with a little bit more surety. And what's the phrase? You just feel... I mean, you feel the
at ease,
the divine light.
Okay.
Yeah, you just feel a little bit more well protected in the area as well. This is like being inside of God's warm embrace.
Okay. I'm going to continue doing that every once in a while as we go around.
You cannot continue doing that. You do realize that each of these is going to cost you another mental stress to enact. If you'd like to set up a ritual of one, you could do it for without the mental stress itself. But you really won't be moving it around, and it might be better to do this in one place.
All right. I will start thinking about how to do it in a ritual for a much larger area, like, say, the entire swamp. But I won't actually start acting on that, as I don't think I've got what I need for it.
Certainly not. Okay. But also, if you wanted to set up something more temporary for a moment where you might be in trouble, for instance, evocation should work just fine.
Mm-hmm.
Just something to think about for the upcoming things. We lost Colin, who was our reason for going further into the swamp. Colin!
He forgot his snacks. He went to get the snacks and forgot the snacks.
No snacks. Boring. Alright, so we go further into the dying and decaying swamps. You saw you saw Romain do a cool little bit of magic to make nothing happen, as far as you're concerned. So,
question,
there's
does
that.
he feel better? Does he feel God's holy light upon his face?
Yes, he feels a small sense of shame for his poor choices, and he is just reminded that he has to do better. The effects are the exact same for combat, but Colin's a bad guy.
How dare you?
Okay. You keep
I'm
going
a good guy
and...
willing to do bad things to get what we need done. There's a difference.
What would have been actually a really rough trek for you guys is a lot easier now that the land is dried. The trees are scarce and bare, and there's not as much wildlife, making it dangerous and difficult to roam around. You get further and further into the swamps until you find a cave.
I'm thinking we might be in the right location. Pull out the guns.
I pull out the pen.
The pen.
The penis
is
mightier.
The penis mightier.
That is actually one of my tags.
Quiet, Rebecca. The penis mightier.
The penis mightier. Now,
Hey,
who has got some investigation checks to make?
I'll do it. Where'd my character sheet go? There it is. Investigation is something I'm pretty good at. I
Okay.
did pretty good in general.
Yes. You notice there are a series of tracks coming in and out of the cave. Something with humanoid-like feet, but much, much larger, has been coming in and out of the area. You also notice that they have kept a small pen where they are growing some kinds of moss, lichen, grass, and other non-edible, it looks like, foods. No, non-edible plant life. Along with that, you see there is what looks to be some kind of preparation area. You want to look further into that area, either with another investigation check or some maybe a scholarship check. Anyone have one of those?
I've got both scholarship and survival, if either of those works.
Both of those work.
All right.
Only one of us or both of us?
Both of you guys can for different skills.
You roll the investigation. I'll roll the scholarship.
Yep, got a 3 again. Consistency is key.
I got a 2. I will go ahead and pin. Actually, you got a 3. I'll not peg anything. I'll just keep the 2.
So you guys both work together to realize that it looks like this might be some type of medical station, some kind of field medical station. There's like anti-burn creams. It not coming from a wrapper, but literally created from plants and leaves and stuff. There is a mortar and pestle created out of a rock and a larger stick. This is obviously a medical center, but you don't know what it's for. Possibly for wrapping up its own injuries as it goes through its things. Go ahead.
So I got an idea, Romain. Can you make fire happen?
Yes.
Can you keep that fire going?
I mean, once I make fire, it's just fire.
Can you make it grow?
Can I make it grow? I feel like that's something I might be able to do, like feed it more energy. But
yeah, you can.
Okay.
So what I'm thinking here is we got a cave, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to put up a spider web on the mouth of the cave, right?
Okay.
You're going to make a fire happen inside of the cave, and this thing will have to come toward the spider web and become trapped. Thoughts?
Are we in the cave right now?
No, you're in the outside of the cave.
How deep in can we see the cave? Can we see?
You cannot. There is a makeshift door in front of it.
Okay. I mean, that's not a bad idea, but what if your webs don't catch it? Then it just is mad because we're burning its house.
Well, then we got it. Okay, there's 2 options here, right? We go in, we fight it, we catch it, we bring it to a Nazi, right? Second thing is we try and trap it. Then we don't have to fight it. If the trap fails, we catch it, we fight it, we bring it to a Nazi.
Fine, I guess. Have you thought about maybe talking to it? Never mind, let's just... You know
How
what?
do I
It's a solid
convince you to
plan.
go
It's a
meet a
solid
spider?
plan, Austin. You know, I don't know why I'm questioning you on this. You are the one who catches things for a living.
That's what I do. So I'm gonna start making just webbing
I'm going to start drawing up a
outside the door.
bonfire spell. Yep.
Okay.
And then I will release...
As you work,
Okay, go ahead.
before you get started with the work, of course, you do notice that you haven't heard any sounds from inside or in the area like you would expect. It's the middle of the day. If something's home, it is not making any sounds. So it might be time, before you start spinning up some useful, valuable, magical energy and webs, to maybe do a little investigating. You're welcome to start this plan, but if he comes home while you're doing it, you're going to be real pissed.
All right, I got a new plan. New plan. I have this new thing I've been meaning to try anyway. I'm gonna go in, right?
Okay.
Sneak around a bit and see if I can find out if he's even home. And if he isn't, let's hide somewhere. Wait for him to come home, then pull off this amazing trap that I've concocted.
Okay.
So just find somewhere neat like to hide real quick. Let me just do this. And I'm gonna go to the top of the cave, open the door, and just as quietly as I can, just spider climb on the top and see if I can't find any information out.
Okay, so as you go through, you are noticing all of the things that are inside the actual area. You're seeing the scrapes of some books. So I'm gonna go ahead and roll me some. What's a good check for this? I mean, obviously, notice would work just fine.
I got stealth,
Scholarship is
investigation,
fine.
survival,
Scholarship
burglary,
is fine. Investigation
even.
is fine. We're just gonna try to be noticing some detailed facts about this room.
So investigation.
Your investigation is fine. Scholarship is fine. All these
right.
things are good.
I have a higher investigation, but since he's already rolling investigation, I'll roll scholarship instead.
Well, you're not coming in.
Okay.
Oh, this is just for you? Okay.
I imagine so. 5.
Yeah, I mean, you're welcome to go in. There's like, okay, Colin, you notice that they are a series of books about animal care. Like a ton of books. Enough books that would make a veterinarian student.
Colin feels
Along
really
with-
bad about what's about to happen to the swamp monster, but
Along with topographical maps, along with books about what looks like plant life in the surrounding area, and just a whole series of information about what makes this particular swamp important. Along with that, since you rolled a 5, we're just going to keep on going with more information. You see a series of, different plant re-injection techniques, obviously looking at different ways of reintroducing the flora that has been destroyed back into the area.
all right. As I move deeper, do I see another entrance, exit, a person in here, anything else?
Nobody else is in here. No.
All right, I'm gonna make my way out then. Heard.
Spider crawl.
Yeah. Well, I have a new idea.
Austin's been nothing but ideas tonight.
Yeah, I got lots of ideas. I'm gonna probably end up. I mean, if he fights us, we're gonna take him out. We're gonna take him to a Nazi. However, from what I can tell on the inside of this place, he might be able to help you on your quest to bring life back to the swamp here. So I'm gonna go back to your first idea, which was to talk to him. And if he's an asshole, we're just gonna take him to a Nazi. If not, we're gonna have to find some kind of new tasty treat for my spider friend. How does that hit you, Romain?
Sorry. Say that again. I was focused on something else. I apologize.
So it's fine. I seem to have stumbled across some information that this swamp being here might be able to help you on your quest to revivify, if you will, the life of the swamp. So we're gonna talk to him, and then if he's a bit of an asshole, we'll pull off a trap, catch him, do whatever we need to do, bring him back to Anansi. If he is not an asshole, you can have a good chat with him, maybe figure out some kind of plan, and I'm gonna have to find something else to feed Anansi.
I like
Or
that
maybe
plan.
just feeding the swamp monster after. Both are options.
I wish you hadn't told me that. That makes me... It hurts to feed him to a Nazi after he helps, if he helps.
Well, yeah, but he's still a monster. I mean, I don't understand. Like, what if he is a fairy? He's got you into a weird kind of deal, and then we have to trap him and feed him to a Nazi. But you get to revivify the forest. I get to feed a Nazi. Everybody wins. Consider it.
I'll consider it. Either way, I do agree with you with talking to him first. Maybe he can help bring the life back to the swamp. You are correct.
All right, well, then let's just, I guess, set up shop here and hang out for a bit, see if he comes back.
In a good amount of time, so as not to be convenient for you. You do hear the rumbling sounds of the swamp monster coming back home. Literally the ground thudding and thumping as he walks. If you did have a glass of water, you'd be seeing little ripples being formed in the middle of it. Thankfully, you don't have that, so we can avoid that direct reference as well, since we can't afford another TV reference like this. You guys are first to see him because he's huge. You are regular sized. There we go. So you guys have first motion, I guess.
I guess we would be waiting outside, wouldn't we? We wouldn't go in.
That's what I would think.
Okay, so I'm just gonna pop a squat on like a stump or a fallen log or something, and make myself as unthreatening as possible. I will still have had the fireball spell drawn up, or not fireball, but the bonfire spell drawn up, because you can't hurt.
And then I will just be sitting next to his house, just being like, if he notices me, I'll talk. But if he doesn't, I'll talk later.
Who are you?
Hi, Mr.
Swamp Monster, I believe he's called.
Swamp. Well, you're known as the Swamp Monster. Oh, by the way, I'm Romain. Nice to meet you.
Austin Cash.
Do I call you Mr.
Pleasure.
Monster?
Mr. Swamp?
I have no name. I have no name.
Swamp Monster it is. We'll keep it nice and easy.
Okay. Who are you? He points at Austin.
Austin Cash. Nice to meet you.
So,
all right.
You know, being the monster of the swamp, I can't imagine it particularly easy to, be the monster of the swamp, without a swamp.
No, not since the swamp died. Everything has been tough and difficult.
I've got a proposition for you.
I'm listening.
I think we can help each other. I've been given the ability to expedite the healing of the swamp. Unfortunately, it's a rather new ability for me, so I need to, I, I need someone like yourself who knows how the swamp works to help make it better. Give me
I
some
know about the
direction.
swamp. I know so much about the swamp. He's just ready to help, you know? He's a good guy.
I don't know why, but like looking at you when you said that and with that voice, I just thought of Trump.
Trump. I know about the swamp. I know everything about the swamp. Greatest swamp monster that's ever lived. I really should have made that reference if I was a more political person. But I'm not, so of course.
All right.
I cleaned out the entire swamp. 100%.
Well, I
The
guess
economy in the swamp has never been quite as nice as it is now. Other than the blight, that isn't my fault. Not my fault.
You can't blame me for the blight. It was somebody else. I blame
the blight is fake
Romain.
news.
Fake news.
So, what have you been doing so far to help? What we need to start bringing the life back into the swamp, right?
I saved my garden. He points to his patch of moss and grass and like tree pods.
Okay.
I heal the animals. And he points to his little medical kit. All of which severely lacking in what would be like capable of like an actual like save the swamp event.
If I were to start bringing the life back to the swamp, can you take care of the swamp?
Yes, I have always taken care of the swamp. Until the blighters.
The blighters?
Yes, those things caused the blight to our land. Not life.
I think he's talking about us. This is out of character, but I'm pretty sure he's talking about us.
No, I think he's
Either
talking
that
about
or the
Thunder
vampires.
Bangs.
Yeah.
He's talking about the vampires. He's talking about
I was going to say, he's
not-
either talking about
not
us or the
life.
vampires. Oh, you mean the vampires?
Yes, those who do not live but move around.
Do you know where they are?
They are in the swamp. He doesn't have any good directions for you. He just kind of looks around. He wants to be helpful.
They
He really
are
does.
in the swamp.
He wants to be helpful. He does. He just can't be more directive.
We might need your help. We can bring the life back to the swamp, but the blighters, as you call them, I want to say that with an English accent, but
Blighters.
the blighters, as you call them, if we bring the life back to the swamp, they'll just continue to, well, suck the life out of the swamp. So
Sounds like you must clean out the blighters.
So would you be willing to help us clean out the blighters?
I am not a fighter. I am a lover.
I'm just saying, this guy seems like easy food for a Nazi. That's all I'm gonna say.
you're not wrong.
He's not doing much to help us either. Let's just wrap him up like a little burrito.
His intentions are so good, guys.
His intentions are good, and I don't want to do it. Like, Romain doesn't want to do it either. Let's just see if he's more helpful than he's originally letting on. Maybe he's one of those savant monsters.
Do that thing you just did earlier over here and see what he has to say about it.
What?
He's talking about the consecration, I think. You mean the
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
consecration?
Yeah, make it holy or whatever. Make the land grow back. See if he's got anything he could do about it, help with it, say about it. Does anything to help us in any way, shape, or
All right.
form.
Mr. Monster, I'm going to cast a spell. I'm going to need your help. Can you feed me some of the energy of the swamp?
It grows in the green. He points you at the garden. If you want the swamp's magic, it is all that is left in here.
Okay. I'm going to step into his garden. And I'm going to start another consecration spell.
All right, let's see the power level.
All right, that's a foe. Followed by a
Nice.
6.
That's cool. All right. So inside of the actual area of consecration, you charge up with the power of the swamp. You actually do start to see the greenery in and of itself starting to take hold just a little bit better. Something about this greenery is magical, is holy to the swamp monster. He set up a little altar for it, and essentially, inside of the swamp itself, preserved it, and worked as hard as he possibly can to maintain it. The magic is there and latches on. When consecrated, this swampland becomes even more green, vibrant, verdant, and it starts to grow outside of its original bounds at a rate that you'd have noticed like 10 times as fast. I mean, it's still grass growing, so it's not like obvious what's going on. But to the swamp monster, that was lightning fast.
Mm-hmm.
What have you done? He runs over to look at what's happening. You see a smile on his face, which is scary in and of itself.
Coom, 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 coom,
Just
coom,
like-
coom, coom.
He just starts cheering. You've saved the swamp! You've saved the swamp! And he just starts.
I've just saved a part of the swamp. It's going to take a lot more time and energy to do the whole thing.
Okay, how can I help?
Are you able to track down the blighters?
I can keep an eye out for them.
Okay, so here's what I'm going to need you to do. Continue doing what you've been doing. Heal the animals, heal the plants.
I'm good at that. I
Keep
can
them
do
healthy. And keep an eye out for the blighters. We need to know if they show back up.
that. Yes. I will keep rigid notes.
Thank you, Mr. Monster. You know what? Let's be less formal. I'm going to call you Swampy.
Yes. Sounds good. Goodbye, little man.
Well, I guess I'll see you later,
Goodbye, tiny man.
little man and tiny man. We have our own names.
I'm little, you're tiny. You're smaller than I am.
Yeah, well,
Get it.
by like maybe an inch or so.
You're actually taller. You're actually taller than Romain.
I might be. I actually didn't know how tall your character was.
I was just looking for 2 words in that short.
Well, it looks like. I mean, I don't know if that would have been good food for a Nazi anyway. That guy didn't have a lot going up in his head, if you know what I mean. Which is the part that I think a Nazi likes the best. So, we are going to need to find something else to feed him, though. Have you heard of any cool ghost stories or powerful magical beings that might be of delicious taste to a spider god?
Your well is running dry of fantastical magical creatures.
Yeah, can't.
Unfortunately. And that's going to have to be the end of our session today.
Well, I will think upon the answer to this question in between sessions and let you know.
Wow, that's not gonna be an uncomfortable conversation with my little spider buddy, but
Yeah. Either way, just gonna have to fail in this one. Since you guys couldn't be heartless and kill the nice swamp monster.
oh, I definitely could have been heartless. I was in fact about to be.
I mean, if you
He's such a nice swamp monster.
Romain will not stop you if you decide to do it after we're done. But since he is helping, he will stop you if you try while we're doing it.
Okay.
Anyway, though, for those of you out there in Viewerland, we appreciate you stopping in. I know we were a little bit off schedule today, both starting early and starting late. We appreciate y'all tuning in.
Specifically, Can of Rules 25. You get the extra props again for the sub.
Yep.
Super dope. Thank you so much.
For those of y'all that enjoy other RPGs, we do have 5e campaigns on both Friday and Saturday. Those start at 8, and they generally run till around midnight with a break in between. And those are starting to get real juicy here. So now's a great time to tune in, catch some hot 5e action. We got any more announcements we want to make?
I think that's it.
All right. As always,
next week's game will.
Go ahead.
Oh yeah, next week's game. By the way, we will probably not be running this or anything because I will not be available. It's also Tyler's birthday, so everyone give him all of your love and praise. You know, just find him on the street, say hi to him, give him a drink on the street.
It will also be Valentine's Day, so we'll all be doing certain things that day. But I hope you all have a good week, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Yep.
Yes.
If you enjoyed the content, go ahead and give us a follow. If you want to see some more Dresden Files action or some more D&D 5e action, give us a follow. Also, we recently hit I've almost said associate status. That's not right. Affiliate. Thank you. Affiliate status. So you can now subscribe with your money or with your Twitch primes. Our shill master Sam on Friday and Saturday came up with the hashtag Steal Jeffrey's Money.
Right. If you or your parents have Amazon Prime, you get a free subscription to a channel. You don't have to give it to us, but you should give it to someone because steal Jeff Bezos' money. Hashtag always. That guy has too much money. So give someone that subscription. It's literally free money for someone that you like. Doesn't have to be
if
us.
You have like
it
a
would be
really
dope if it
boring
was
friend,
us.
Like if you have a really boring friend who has like Amazon Prime, but obviously is not on Twitch, have them let you log in. Like do your thing. Don't steal their money.
Yeah, steal Jeff Bezos' money. Give it to someone at least.
Bezos' money.
We would also appreciate it.
Yes, that too.
But with that, we will give a final log off. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I hope y'all have a wonderful day. Enjoy the sports ball if you're watching.